Welcome to the Coastal Alabama Prep Football Report on AL.com. The Spanish Fort Toros, the best team in the state according to AL.com in the Power Poll. This is the 6A team, 5A last year. Now they're all the way to the top of all classifications, Ben.
Right, we're talking about our Power 20 that vote all classification poll. We've been doing it for 2 years now. Hoover has been number one, a mainstay. They lost 2 in a row. Last week, Clay Chalkville moved up to number one. But this week, Spanish Fort won and Clay Chalkville won, and Spanish Fort jumped them. They won 27 games in a row, Randy. Last week, they beat Class 7A Davidson handily, 38-7. They've already beaten 2 6A opponents this year. So, they just continue to roll, and I think right now you've got to say they're the best team, and we'll see what happens down the road.
Unusual to have a team that not in the biggest classification be considered the best in the state, especially because they're just moving up. They were 5A last year.
Right, they were 6A this year. They've been number one in the Associated the Alabama Sports Writers top 10 poll all year. They beat Stanhope Elmore in the opener, Gulf Shores last week, and all in convincing fashion. So they haven't really slowed down at all, and of course they got stars all over the field. They play LaFleur in Pritchard this week, so we'll see how that goes.
Not necessarily one of the marquee games this week, but at St. Paul's and Jackson, a huge game in Class 5A, 2 of the absolute best teams in the state in that classification.
Right. It's at E.E. Delaney Stadium at St. Paul's, and St. Paul's has been ranked number one in 5A. They got that Spanish Fort moves up. They've been kind of a thorn in St. Paul's side for the last couple of years. Now it's kind of their show. They're number one. They've won 3 straight road games. Haven't played at home yet. So they come home to play their first home game against the Jackson team. That's kind of rebuilding. Matthew Jordan going to Georgia Tech, Gavin Bryant going to Tennessee, but they're 2-0. There's Jackson. They still have Danny Powell, who's the crafty veteran. So that'll be a great game in Mobile.
We've got to touch on Baker High, a chance to go 4-0 playing McGill this week. That's another big game at Baker High School. Yeah,
first time Baker could go 4-0 since 1984, Randy. McGill's won 13 straight in this series, but they're kind of struggled a little bit out of the gate. I don't think we know the identity of McGill yet. Lost last week to Fairhope, kind of struggled to beat Viger. Baker has a big matchup next week against Fairhope, so they got to avoid looking ahead. They got to win this game and go. They along with Fairhope, they are 2 of the you got to say the leaders in this 7A Region 1 now, and to keep that going, they need to beat McGill on Friday night.
This should be a great week for prep football this week in Coastal Alabama.